Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, Borderlands 3 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. After much controversy and bad press heading into the release, Borderlands 3 is finally here, and I will say it is more Borderlands, for better and for worse. On the positive side of things, Borderlands 3 has the same Borderlands gameplay we've all come to know and love, the looter-shooter style gameplay that is complementary to the overall gunplay, the tightness of the overall gunplay, melee action, Twitch-style shooting mechanics that has made the previous Borderlands game so much fun. Even if the story and the characters haven't been that strong, it's just as good here, if not better. It feels like maybe, just maybe, the gunplay is a little bit tighter. And there's also a very interesting implementation in this version that allows for certain weapons to have alternate firing mechanics. So if you hit down on the D-pad, it will switch certain weapons to their secondary firing mode. So depending on what weapon you pick up, you may have that ability or you may not. To make things more rewarding, I believe the AI is a little bit smarter and hits harder than it has in previous Borderlands games. But to offset that toughness of the enemies is the fact that I have noticed a majority of the enemies drop some incredible weapons, even early on. Weapons that are usually around the level of the player will have stat boosts compared to the original weapons. And some enemies even drop weapons that are a couple of levels higher, so it gives the player something to look forward to when they start leveling up their character. Be it one of the 4 class types, you have a Siren who is more magic based, a Gunner who has an Iron Bear mech, an Operative who has a variety of gadgets including the ability to create holograms that will cause distractions for the opponents, and Flak, who is a Beastmaster. That's the one I'm playing with right now, who has a creature by its side the entire time, being a Skag or one of the spider creatures. And depending on how you utilize him in battle, the creature will either help in creating first aid and supportive measures for Flak, or be a killing machine. Right now I love the Beastmaster class, but just like any Borderlands game, I'm intrigued to play with other classes to see how they play. Co-op is still jump in, jump out, depending on if you have your network open or not. Characters and players can jump in and play around with you as long as they're around the same area or section in the story as you, and jump right out, complete missions, drop loot. And as I said, with the AI being more difficult, the more characters that are playing, the more players that are playing, the more enemies will show up. And it will make for a more difficult time overall. But the rewards are even greater because of the rarer or more epic loot drops that come from these enemies that are defeated when more than 2 players are playing together at the same time. The plot when it comes to Borderlands has never been the strongest of suits, but as the years have progressed and the more games have been released, the lore has gotten grander, and we see characters from previous Borderlands games show up, but they just feel like fan service. They really don't add that much to the plot except for a couple of characters. The initial setting is just Pandora, the deserted wasteland full of enemies ready to kill you, be it animals or humans. But as the game progresses, very quickly you see that there's more to Borderlands 3 than just the initial starting point. And even with that being stated, it still feels very similar. The atmosphere, the feeling of each level or each world is similar, even though the design is different. There are some optimization issues, some frame rate drops here and there, some connectivity issues here and there, but nothing that is too detrimental. Overall, an absolutely epic return to form when it comes to the franchise from a gameplay perspective. If you're one of the few people, and I know it's got to be just a few, that are into the Borderlands franchise specifically for the story, for the lore, for the characters, this may not be a hearty experience. But for those who love the co-op action, who love the gameplay, who love the gunplay, who love the loot, this is Borderlands through and through, a definite purchase. Though I may wait for a full-blown purchase, if I were you, simply because every Borderlands has a Game of the Year edition that comes out about a year later that has all the DLC, and more than likely a lot of people will still be playing it, so you can play online, you can play cooperatively, and you won't feel like you missed out on anything, and have everything all at the same time. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. Borderlands 3 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now if you don't mind, I have to hit the highway, potentially run over some skags or just random dirty people. And as I track down bandits and slaughter people who are just trying to protect their treasure, the people of Pandora will have no choice but to say, "Oh Lordy."